These are 40 inspirational quotes to change the world from Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. It always seems impossible until it's done. Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Courageous people do not fear forgiving for the sake of peace. The greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but in rising every time we fail. Freedom is indivisible. The chains on any one of my people were the chains on all of them. The chains on all of my people were the chains on me. I have walked that long road to freedom. I have tried not to falter. I have made missteps along the way, but I have discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. I like friends who have independent minds because they tend to make you see problems from all angles. I am fundamentally an optimist. Whether that comes from nature or nurture, I cannot say. Part of being optimistic is keeping one's head pointed toward the sun, one's feet moving forward. It is better to lead from behind and to put others in front, especially when you celebrate victory, when nice things occur. You take the front line when there is danger, then people will appreciate your leadership. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. I dream of an Africa which is in peace with itself. We can change the world and make it a better place. It is in your hands to make a difference. To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. There is nothing like returning to a place that remains unchanged to find the ways in which you yourself have altered. One of the most difficult things is not to change society, but to change yourself. It is not where you start, but how high you aim. That matters for success. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Real leaders must be ready to sacrifice, all for the freedom of their people. A nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. I detest racialism because I regard it as a barbaric thing, whether it comes from a black man or a white man. Difficulties break some men but make others. No axe is sharp enough to cut the soul of a sinner who keeps on trying, one armed with the hope that he will rise even in the end. Money won't create success, the freedom to make it will. It is not the kings and generals that make history, but the masses of the people. To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. I dream of the realization of the unity of Africa, whereby its leaders combine in efforts to solve the problems of this continent. If you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy, then he becomes your partner. Sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. You can be that great generation. It is so easy to break down and destroy. The heroes are those who make peace and build. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden, but never extinguished. There is no easy walk to freedom anywhere, and many of us will have to pass through the valley of the shadow of death again and again before we reach the mountaintop of our desires. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. In my country, we go to prison first and then become president. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human. I am not a saint, unless you think of a saint as a sinner who keeps on trying. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. We must use time wisely, and forever realize that the time is always ripe to do right. I like friends who have independent minds, because they tend to make you see problems from all angles. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. It always seems impossible until it's done. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Hopefully these quotes can provide motivation and encouragement for individuals to achieve their goals. They remind us that success may not come easy, but with effort, courage, and persistence, we can overcome obstacles. And thank you.
And see you in the next video.